Hey everyone, today I really want to get into a very heated debate, so let's roll the intro.
I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement. This paper that you are referring to was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function. Let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans.
Right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And
The shifting sands of gain of function reason. The mystery of COVID's origin has reignited a contentious debate about potentially risky studies and the fuzzy terminology that describe them, written by Amber Dan. In Greek mythology, the Chimera was a fire-breathing monster, a horrifying mismatch of a lion, goat, and snake that laid waste to the countryside. In 2015, virologists led by Ralph Baric at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill reported that the creation of their own Chimera. They took a version of the coronavirus responsible of the deadly outbreak of severe acute respiratory syndrome SARS in the early 2000s, now called as SARS-CoV, and adorned it with surface protein from a different coronavirus taken from Chinese horseshoe bats. In the lab, this particular matchup was able to break into human cells and also make mice ill. This chimera came with a message. Other coronaviruses have the potential to spark a human pandemic. In just few years' time, the warning would prove prescient, as a distant cousin of SARS-CoV has now killed more than 4.9 people worldwide. Alright, now we have a nice paper that is trying to decipher the politics from the science. And before I let you go read it, which I really recommend if you really want to have the most updated version of the facts, let's try to define together what is gain of function. And for that, I made a little lovely cartoon in which we have the cell, and you may know that the cell have our genetic information, which allow it to function properly. So those genetic information or DNA are usually for the main dogma of life are translated into RNA, which are transcribed into protein, which are the functioning part of the cell. So, where does the gain of function occur in the cell itself? So let's look at ourselves. As human, we do mistake. So does the cell. And when and where those mistakes happen is usually at the genetic sequence. When the cells, for example, is trying to give its genetic information when it's dividing to its daughter cell so it can function the same way the mother cell is functioning. And the very simple example of a mistake, there's many, but here is one where there is a single point mutation. A mutation, so basically the alphabet of the cells is composed of A, T, G, C, and here we have the C as red. So the mutation happened on that position. So the C is not supposed to be here. Instead, it's used to be an A, a T, or a G. And what happens in that when mistake like this occur? There's three possibilities. This mutation won't do anything to the cell, so this process is kept as it is and won't change. The other and very much more common possibility is that the process will be totally lost. So instead of gain of function, we'll be talking about loss of function. So for example, the protein won't be produced anymore. The protein will have a very critical mutation that won't allow it to function. The other possibility is that the protein itself will have a gain of function. So in that sense, instead of following the normal pathway that it's supposed uh, to uh, to be to be involved in, it will gain another pathway or possibility to function otherwise. And uh, this is the very original definition of gain of function. We have defined from a genetic point of view what is gain of function. However, from a virology point of view, gain of function define something very different. And this is the introductory part of the paper we have read. So it's the chimera taking a function of a virus, trying to combine it with another virus to see what happens. And you will see while you read the paper that both influenza and the SARS viruses have this property to become virulent and gain the function of infecting cells. But however, they, from the perspective of Fauci, he was thinking of a more genetic point of view, because the variant that they were studying in that 2007 paper already were infecting human cells. So it wasn't really a gain of function, because it wasn't a new pathway that the virus has discovered in that case. Also, I really want to give a shout out to BioRender. So I really messaged them and they were very positive about me making this educational video, even though it's not a very sponsored like video. It's just for fun. Like, it's a very simple use application. So instead, like, of using Illustrator and making by hand the figure that you have in head, basically you can type, for example, and you have a very lovely antigen image here that you just drag and you can add to your figure. So thank you, BioRender. So the paper decided to end on a positive note. So yes, the gain of function field in virology may cause and have concern in the ethical field. However, it raises the point that we can predict the evolution of some viruses and potentially predict future pandemics to prevent them. And I wanna also think outside the box and also think about a positive note. And like, something that happened this week is that the first pig heart transplant was made in a human patient, and so far, fingers crossed, it seems to be working. So instead of the virus, imagine that we have modified that heart to be compatible with the human, and this is a very big leap on our knowledge and how transplantation are made, and this can really revolutionize the way we do surgery in the future. Instead of like waiting for a human donor, we can rapidly come up with a easier solution for our patients. And on that note, thank you for watching. I really wanted to do something different this year, so I'm the first time launching this kind of video concepts. I really want to do it more regularly, maybe bi-weekly. So if you're interested, let me know in the comment what topic I can approach next. Thank you.